Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 25 deadline stream. We're nearly at the end. I haven't made any transfers yet. I was actually looking at future moves just a minute ago, and I realised I probably should have moved early because there's a few transfers later on I might not be able to. Anyway, I've not made any moves. I'm probably going to do Saka to Mbermo, Szoboszlai to Rice, or Saka to Mbermo, Lewis Hall to Timber. So all I know right now is I'm going to buy Mbermo. Which Arsenal player I'm going to buy along with it, I'm not sure. And I don't even know what's going to make me decide other than a deadline. So I've got to... I'm just going to have to decide. Arteta's usually pretty good, to be honest. I think, well, Arteta's better than he was. He's never going to give you like exact dates and stuff. But yeah, he was asked about Timber. He said Timber's fine. Does that mean Timber starts? Not necessarily. But he might do. He might do. Need to bench a midfielder. Who do I bench at? Bruno Fernandes, Mbermo, Rice, Enzo, Wirtz. You can't. I mean, Wirtz, I guess, if you absolutely have to. But you don't need to bench any of those midfielders, surely. Have I just been released from police custody? I do call this my jail jumper. It does feel like one of the jumpers you would see if you were watching a prison show or something like that. I like it though. I like this jumper. Timber is not fine. He is fine. He does say when people are fit, to be honest. Honestly, I think Arteta's way better than he used to be, but because he spent so long being bad, people just still say he's bad. Honestly, it's been months. Arteta's actually quite good these days. Again, he's not one of those managers that's going to say this player is going to be back in 5 weeks, but he's way better than he used to be. Bench boost with Dubravka, Chow, Road on any sub 5 million midfielder? Probably, yeah. Again, I have to keep repeating this over and over again. Bench boost 33 might be great after wildcard 32, but there's no way to know for sure. Never realised how badass audio was on YouTube until I started wearing headphones. What do you mean? Like YouTube music or something? Palmer or Bruno, captain? Bruno. Palmer's not bad this week, by the way, but definitely Bruno for me. Why did you decide in Burma instead of Wirtz? Better fixtures in the short term. Wirtz is probably better from 28. I think in Burma is better from now until 28. And also, in Burma is just okay as well, right up until 31. Dubravka or Kelleher? Dubravka, right? Dude. Your audio quality comes through better on headphones than laptop. Okay, good. Oh, the intro music. That's a good point. I need to change that. Please suggest Mbermo and Gabriel or Timber and Palmer. The one with Gabriel. I think Gabriel's got to be one of the main priorities right now if you don't own him. Bruno G or Krupi? I mean, Bruno G might start. But probably Krupi, I guess, if you've got him. Need to set my team now. Off to work. Who to bench in defense? Cash, Anderson, Rodon. You only have to bench one of them. Probably... Who's Cash got? He's got... Bournemouth away, right? So him, yeah, probably. Bench Rodgers or Wilson? Probably Rodgers. Gabriel, captain, worth some thought. If you don't own Fernandes, yes. If no clean sheet expected for Dubravka or Kelleher, why not just Kelleher? Yeah, but you still go for the guy that's got more chance of a clean sheet, right? So, yeah. Probably Dubravka. Although, whether he's actually got that much more of a chance, I don't know. But I suspect Burnley are higher up than Brentford. Surely they are. Brentford 19%, Burnley 22%. Yes, I'd probably just play Dubravka. Raya and Chalobah or Sanchez and Saliba for the third Arsenal defensive spot. Raya and Chalobah probably. Oh, hang on. You just tuned in. What did you miss? Oh, nothing. We've only been live like 6 minutes. Just another Dave, new member. Thank you. Transferring Saliba or Raya, both for free. Probably Raya. I don't think Saliba's... I know Saliba's going to score in this double, but he's just not that interesting as a pick, I don't think. Start one, Milenkovic versus Nunes. Probably Milenkovic. And Wilson versus Rogers. Wilson. Start Thiago or Raul Jimenez. Probably Raul Jimenez. Although Muniz is back now. My attack is... But he's back, only just back from a long injury, so you might be okay. My attack is Bowen, Ekitike, João Pedro. That's why I need to bench a midfielder. I guess Verts, but it's horrible. Bench booster, Bravka, Estev, Anderson, Alderete. No. Chaz, 40 months. Collins to Timber or Szoboszlai to Rice. See, Collins is quite good from like 27, 28 onwards. Then again, Szoboszlai's not bad either. I do think Timber starts. Although I'm not as confident as I am on a Rice start, I guess. If the Timber move, Senesi or Collins out. I think I would do Szoboszlai to Rice, but honestly, it's such a close call. Like, there's really nothing in it. -4 for Timber / Rice. Currently have Raya Gabriel. I would just get them for free next week, probably. Is Dorgy to Timber worth a -4 or do it next week? Next week, unless you've got no other defenders to play, of course. Thinking of getting rid of Chow, considering Chalobah or Timber. Currently only have 2 Arsenal. Yeah, I wouldn't go for Chalobah from Chow, I don't think. Not instead of Timber, anyway. So you can either play Chow, get Timber next week, or buy Timber now and hope he starts. Havertz or Rice? Rice. I triple captain Bruno last game week. Nice. Would you get rid of Haaland? Sorry, would getting rid of Haaland be mad? So Pep was asked if he's definitely going to start against Liverpool, and he said he doesn't know. It was funny. I'm second in my min league and 20 points off the top. I think it would let me do something different to the person top. 20 points is nothing really, though, with how many game weeks are left. I wouldn't be in a mad rush to get rid of Haaland personally. Hold Saka for the double game week. No, he's probably not going to be back for it. Not the first game anyway. Play Raul Jimenez, Thiago, or Bruno. Come on. Come on. You got Bruno. You should play Bruno. Is Bruno the best transfer in this week? I mean, arguably yes, I guess, if you don't own him. And get your Arsenal next week. Bench 1, Anderson, Minte, Thiago, Calvert-Lewin. Minte. I would say Anderson, but Minte's just always a bit annoying, right? Will he or won't he start? Presumably he will start, but I don't think it's a guarantee, so probably bench Minte. Verbruggen or Dubravka? Probably Verbruggen. O'Reilly to Munoz. I've got double Arsenal defense. I think Munoz is pretty good for the next 3 weeks. Do you think it's a waste of a transfer? So yeah. Do you think it's a waste of a transfer to go from Tarkowski to Munoz? It's not a transfer I would make, put it that way. Especially if you've already used your wild card. Bruno G out for a -4, predicted to start. REI first bench. Who's REI? Reed? Or Reinders, maybe? I think Bruno G will probably start if he's fit enough to. So I think I would probably... I think I'd probably not take the -4. Bench 1, Anderson, Njai, Calvert-Lewin, Enzo. Oof. Anderson probably. Palmer or Enzo. I mean, this week I'd rather have Palmer, but Enzo is a much safer pick and he's easier to get to, right? Van Dijk on the bench. 1 free transfer to Saliba for correct money. Again, Saliba's probably the least interesting of the Arsenal defenders, but if he's the only one you can get, then sure. Why not? Do you think Keane starts? I'm not so sure because Mikalenko's back now. Now, maybe he just starts again and they just don't play Mikalenko, but it's difficult to know. I think my guess would be that Keane probably does start, but he might not. That's all I can say. Watkins, Haaland, Krupi starting Watkins and Haaland, but was going to sell Watkins to João Pedro and switch to Ekitike in 28. That's a lot of transfers. I think you just keep Watkins. I just wouldn't get João Pedro with your front 3 personally. If you have to do it, then sure, sell Watkins, but I probably wouldn't bother. I have Aronson for today. Thoughts good or bad? Hopefully good. He did go on that little run a while back, didn't he, where he just kept on scoring. Which 3 Wolves assets for next week? 0 for me. Yeah, 0 for me too. 42 months. Damn. Mane maybe, but probably not. Semenyo out for Mbermo. Already got 3 Arsenal. I'd be tempted to keep Semenyo. The fixtures are quite good after this week. I'd prefer in Burmo, but from next week, I'm not sure if there's too much difference between the two. Not if Semenyo keeps starting. Your aura farming saying, come on. Don't know. Can win the Let's Talk League and has a content creator ever won their channel league before? I don't know. Is the answer to that. Where am I in my own league? I am currently 118th. I mean, my league's got over 100,000 people in there, like from just accumulating them over the years. So it is pretty difficult to win it for me. Like to win my league, I would probably have to get very close to winning FPL, like top 50 or something, probably in FPL, at least to win my league. There's just so many people in there. Yeah, you never know. Until the red arrows start, which can't be too far away. Maybe they start this week. Maybe I go Rice and Timber finally gets his goal. I really don't know what to do. Because of the Timber stuff yesterday, where he wasn't shown in the training video, I've been looking at Rice all day, and I kind of got on board with, okay, I'll just buy Rice. And then Arteta says Timber's fine. And there's also photos that have come out of training, and Timber was in training. So now I'm thinking, I was so set on Timber, do I just go back to that? I don't know. I'm confused now. Bench one, Chow, Tarkovsky, or Chalobah. Ooh, Tarkovsky probably, just about. Kelleher to Raya or wait on Timber, have Gabriel. Ideally, I think wait on Timber. Would you do Rodgers 30 months? Would you do Rodgers to Mbeumo or just roll? Probably roll. Rodgers owners are getting a bit cold feet, I know, because he's blanked a lot, like 5 times in the last 7 weeks. But I still think he's an okay hold. Saka to Mbeumo locked, and Alderete to Timber or Verbruggen to Raya. Verbruggen to Raya gives me money to go Enzo to Verts. Enzo to Verts is quite nice. By the way, that's part of the reason I kind of want to go Rice, because it also leaves me the money to do Enzo to Verts. If I'd moved early this week on Saka to Mbeumo and Lewis Hall to Timber, I'd be able to afford Enzo to Verts either way. Yeah, Enzo to Verts is a nice option to have, so I would probably go Raya, but it is quite boring versus getting Timber. Like, put it this way, it's nice to have the Enzo Verts option, but Timber's much better than Raya, I think. Well, maybe not much better, but he is better. Bench booster Bravka, Krupi, Rodon, and Hill. I'd be quite tempted. That's not a bad bench boost, I would say. 1 month. Tarkovsky or Gay for Timber? Probably Gay. Any news on Neto? Rossini said he doesn't know if he's going to be available. That was yesterday. We won't get any more news today. Reckon I should start Krupi or Bruno G? Probably Krupi, I think. Oliver, 34 months. Did Tarkovsky to Gabriel was replacing Lewis Hall better? Arguably, yes. But don't worry about it now. It's done. Take a hit for Sharda to Rice or just play Tarkovsky? Probably just play Tarkovsky. Bench Haaland or Thiago? I mean, maybe that's closer than it usually would be, but I would bench Thiago, I think. Top 20k, nice. Happy weekend. Tomorrow we can enjoy an easy Saturday morning. Which 2 would you pick from these 4? Dewsbury Hall, Senesi, Mane, and Richards. Probably Dewsbury Hall and Senesi, I think. Huge fan of the channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the content. Thanks for watching. Dubravka, Anderson, Rodon, Mane. Would you bench boost? It's a pretty good bench, isn't it? Again, I'd be tempted. I'm really struggling to tell people to bench boost because I just don't know how good the bench boost will be later on. Like, they could be really good. They could also just be terrible. Or not terrible, but just not worth all the hassle of waiting. Again, I think that bench is bench boostable for sure. I don't think it would be a mistake to bench boost that. That's all I can say. Captain Calvert-Lewin, Enzo, or Rice, and why? I'm serious. Rice probably for Sunderland at home. Start O'Reilly or Keane, or take a -4 for Timber. Probably start Keane and hope for the best. Chow, Tarkovsky, Garner, bench 1. Garner probably. Saka for Mbeumo or Rice. Only have Gabriel from Arsenal, but do have 2 free transfers if need to do next week. I mean, Rice is the bigger priority, I think. But you like this week, who would I rather have, Rice or Mbermo? It's probably close, but you might as well get in the guy with a double next week, right? If it's close. Sharda and Saka to Rice and Mbermo for free. Yeah, that's pretty nice. FPS Knicks, 37 months. Semenyo to Fernandez this week and Trossard to Rice next week. I already have Gabriel, Timber, and Trossard. Might get rid of Hall, who to bring in. I would just keep Lewis Hall for now. Yeah, Semenyo to Fernandez is good. And then you can decide on Trossard to Rice. You might want to just keep Trossard if you've already got him. Like Dubravka or Royce. Dubravka, Timber, Gabriel, Bowen. Nice. FPL Road 23 months. Timber and Trossard or Calafiori and Rice. Calafiori and Rice probably. I mean, yeah, probably Calafiori and Rice. You often get asked about meet and greets, and your answer always is that maybe if some of your guys throw one. What season-ending rank would make you throw one top 10? I don't know. It's just not my kind of thing, to be honest. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't think where I finish in the ranks would have any impact on whether I'd want to like host an event or something. Like maybe 500k, but like I'm only 12k off that, and I've not even thought about it. It's just really not my thing to be like. It feels like quite a self-indulgent thing to do, and it's just not really my style. I don't think. I just feel very awkward. Now, I wouldn't mind going to one where it's like an FPL thing and it's not my thing. If it's just me, I'd feel quite awkward, I think. Bench boost to Bravka, Gudmundsson, Saar, Tarkovsky. Probably yes. Is Saar really on your bench though? Two out of these three: Evan Nielsen, Dewsbury Hall, Senesi. I'd probably play Dewsbury Hall ahead of Senesi. My team is. I want Saka to Mbermo, Van Dijk to Gabriel, Semenyo to Wirtz. Maybe I got 4 free transfers. I don't think I would do Semenyo to Wirtz just yet. Van Dijk to get, if your only way to get Gabriel is to sell Van Dijk, yes, and Saka to Mbermo is a good move. I wouldn't do the Semenyo to Wirtz move just yet. Because if Semenyo keeps starting, the next few fixtures are okay. I think Wirtz Wirtz is good right now for sure, but I think the time to pick up Wirtz is maybe 28, especially if you've already got Semenyo. Rob, new member, thank you. Tarkovsky for Timber for -4 or wait. I would wait. Throw an event but don't turn up. I mean, can you imagine? People would hate me. Maybe they already do. Thiago to João Pedro or Stack to Anderson or both. Look, Thiago to João Pedro is fine, right? João Pedro is better for the next 3. There is some chance that João Pedro gets benched for the Leeds game, by the way. I don't think he will, but he could. I just think Thiago to João Pedro is a guaranteed transfer back, pretty much, as long as Thiago stays fit. So I'd be tempted to save the transfer, but I don't hate it. Stack to Anderson is good because Stack's out for 2 games. Start 2, Munoz, Tarkovsky, Rice. You've got to start Rice, probably Munoz then. Why do you care so much about a realistic bench? They're getting points either way. Isn't it? Because if it's not your real bench, then you can't like that. That's like, yeah, okay. That's like me doing this, right? So that's like me putting Gio in. Let me just put in the most ridiculous thing. That's like me doing this and saying, "Oh, I should bench these this week because I've got Hall, Enzo, Fernandez, and Raya," and then ignoring the fact I've got Gio in the 11. That's why it's important to know who the actual bench is. Like if I said to you, should I bench boost Fernandez, Enzo, Hall, and Raya? Well, of course I should, but that's not my real bench, is it? My actual bench has Gio, so I probably shouldn't bench boost. So when someone says they've got Ismail Assar, that's fine. That sounds pretty good. But is Sarr, like if you weren't bench boosting, would Sarr really be on your bench? It's hard to bench someone like that, right? I haven't pressed save. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, lots of people asking about hits for Arsenal players. I don't hate it if you've got like no bench or something like that, but otherwise I would just do it next week, I think. Start Petrovic and Senesi or Dubravka and Brobby. I'd be tempted to start Dubravka and Senesi, to be honest with you. I think, yeah. I mean, if it has to be one of the combinations, Petrovic and Senesi, start Chow or Tarkovsky. Probably Chow. Does it make sense to bench Haaland? Kroupy better? I'm not convinced Kroupy is better, to be honest. Bruno or João Pedro captain? Bruno. By the way, if you ask me, just to save yourself some money, if you ask me any question that is captaincy and one of the options is Bruno, I'm going to say Bruno because I think he's the best captain this week. I'm at a loss. I need to pick 2 out of 4 to start this game week. Szoboszlai, Wilson, Raul Jimenez, and Mateus Nunes, I guess. Wilson and Raul Jimenez. Bench 1, Raul, Anderson, Chow. Chow probably. Szoboszlai and Haaland and Raul Jimenez, or 3-4-3 with Thiago over Szoboszlai. I'd play Thiago over Szoboszlai. Saka to Cunha and Keane to Timber. I wouldn't go for Cunha. I think his minutes probably will be good, but there's enough doubt to not bother buying him, I think. I would go for someone else. Keane to Timber's good. I've planned 3 transfers to 32. This will end in beers. Enjoy. Bench 1 of Thiago, Semenyo, Haaland or Wilson. Probably Semenyo for me, even though it sounds horrible. Thoughts on Saka, Anderson and Mbeumo? Thoughts on Saka, Anderson plus Mbeumo plus Saliba? Is that Saka to Mbeumo and Anderson to Saliba? Selling Anderson, I think he's a really good long-term hold. If you've got a different defender, I mean, again, if that's your only way to get Saliba, fair enough, sell Anderson. But I would be really cautious about doing that. Thoughts on Timber starting next 3? I think he will, but there's a lot of people that don't think he's going to start this weekend. But I think he will. If he doesn't start this weekend, that's a 9-day rest for him. Maybe he needs it, but Game week 27, Palmer, Saliba to Wirtz, Van Dijk. Game week 27. I mean, Palmer plays Burnley in game week 27. Palmer, Enzo to Wirtz, Rodgers. I will only have 3 transfers for game week 31 and bad defence. I mean, I try not to overthink these things until you get there, unless it's really important for right now. But probably Wirtz and Rodgers. I'm guessing you mean 28. You and Raptor should collab right now, both online. Yeah, everyone's probably doing their own deadline stream, right? Necessary to have 3 Arsenal. I mean, I probably would, yes. It's Sunderland at home plus a double game week. What about 2 defenders and Palmer / Mbeumo? I'd rather have Rice. Play Dubravka or Petrovic. Dubravka, I think. Stack to Wilson or Anderson. I'm going to say Anderson. Or just start Mane Goodmanson. I think starting Goodmanson's fine this week. If you want to save the transfer, yeah, I really do think that's fine. I've got 2 free transfers. Roll and start one of Raul Jimenez, Thiago, or Bruno G. Or use 2 free transfers for Mbeumo and Hill. No, I would just start Raul Jimenez. That order, basically. Raul, Thiago, then Bruno G would be the order for me. And you're good. Your followers like you for your sense of humour, character, and I would gladly travel to the UK. Yeah, I've got no plans to do a meet and greet, honestly. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend otherwise. It's not really crossed my mind all that much. Thiago or Haaland? Haaland. Start Njai or Semenyo? Njai, probably. Penalties and slightly better fixture. Buying Capier for budget? No, because Calafiori could easily start. And Capier is not a good player to be buying right now, I would say. Bench boost with Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, Rodon, Alderete. Nah, Alderete's pretty rubbish this week, I think. I mean, he probably will get Defcons, I guess, but very boring game week, isn't it? I don't know about boring, to be honest. There's a lot of decisions to be made. It's so the membership names are so rubbish now. Not always rubbish, but like it's so weird now. They've put usernames instead of people's actual names, like Leisure. TY Me Online Game Store. You remember? Thank you. I'm sure you've got a better, like not better, but a different name to that. Would you bench boost Kroupy, Andersen, Estev, Dubravka? Again, that is definitely benchable. That is definitely bench boostable. That's all I'm going to say now. I'm not going to say whether you should or shouldn't. That's up to you. I've spoken loads this week about the fact that bench boost later could be good, but that is bench boostable, I would say. Rail or Timber for Dallo / for Bruggen for -4 or wait. Yeah, just do 1 move this week and 1 next week, I would say. for the most part. Captain Gabriel or Bruno, again, like any questions that involve captaincy and Bruno, it's only going to be one answer. Kelleher or Dubravka to start. Dubravka, don't you think Timber might not start the Wolves game since he has a derby 3-4 days later and he might not be 100% fit? Well, he's probably going to be fit, right? I mean, if he doesn't start the Wolves game, that means he's going to have started on Thursday and then not play for like 9 or 10 days. So he probably does. Kelleher in Jai to Ray at Dewsbury Hall. Or Rogers to Rice. Probably Rogers to Rice, to be honest. Plus, it uses one fewer transfer. Esteve or Van Dijk this week. I'd be tempted by Esteve. I mean, I'm not convinced Burnley are going to get a clean sheet, but Raya or Dubravka. Raya by a mile. Played wildcard last week with Dubravka and Sells as goalkeeper for this week's bench boost. Sells now a doubt. Would you abandon? I would probably just abandon, yeah. I mean, look, if you've set up for bench boost and it looks really good, you could make a goalkeeper transfer. I don't hate that. It just sucks that you have to spend a transfer to do it, I guess. But if the rest of the bench is really good, then I'd be tempted just to do the goalkeeper transfer. Yeah, be a little bit tempting. Who have Wolves got this week? It's Chelsea at home, though, isn't it? It's not great. But then you get in for the double next week. Yeah, I'd be a little bit tempted to do it. I have Neto, who's a doubt, with one free transfer and the money to upgrade into Palmer in Burma or Verts. What would you do? Probably in Burma. Raya to Timber, third Arsenal, 2 free transfers, 4 double, game week 26. I would not spend 2 free transfers to shift Raya to Timber. But Pickford or Dubravka? I'm going to say Pickford. I just, like, Everton, just feel like they'll just get a clean sheet in a game like that. They probably won't, but you just know what they're like. When do you think your wild card? 32, probably. Bench one of Krupi, Senesi, Hall, or Rodon? Probably Senesi. Should I bench use with Verbruggen, Rodon, Calvert-Lewin, and Nunes? Nunes is a bit rubbish. The rest is okay. I'd say probably not, but it's really not a bad bench boost, I'll be honest. Like, if Nunes gets something, that's probably worth it, but I think I would probably say no, but I would respect it if you hit the button. I wouldn't argue against it. Enzo to Sarr and Neto to Rogers in game week 28. I don't think buying Sarr in 28 is worth it, because at that point you've missed the Burnley and Wolves home games, and he's going to blank in 31 most likely. Are you keeping or selling Saka? I'm definitely selling him. Who would you advise to buy if you already have Cunha and Bruno? Enzo? Enzo's good, or in Burmo. Oh, you've got Cunha and Bruno already, though. Oof. Yeah, Enzo or Verts you could go to. Or Rice if you don't have 3 Arsenal. Well, you don't have 3 Arsenal, right? So why not sack it to Rice? Yeah, surely Rice. Who is going to be on penalties for Newcastle since Gordon is injured and Voltamada doesn't start? Probably Bruno G. That's actually a good point. Maybe that makes Bruno G worth keeping. Yeah, Bruno G, I would assume. I have Gay, sell Dorgu to Timber, -4, and bench Gay. I'd probably just play Gay. Why are we back in Dubravka? Lost the first leg to West Ham. First leg? I don't think many people are back in Dubravka. Unless I'm missing something. I mean, some people are playing him over a player that looks worse. That's about it. 1 free transfer. O'Reilly to Hill or Senesi or just roll. I don't think that's enough of an upgrade to use your only free transfer, to be honest. I'm so happy with my defence, and it goes back to what you say about team dependent. Gabriel, Senesi, Collins, Munoz, Anderson just makes sense to go Rice. Yeah, 100%. Like, to be honest, my defence is also in a very similar situation. Like, Van Dijk's good. I know people hate him, but Van Dijk's like pretty good option. Gabriel's good. Senesi and Anderson are great long term. It's only really Lewis Hall. But if Lewis Hall keeps starting and can stay fit, he's actually not a bad hold all the way through to 31. Like, he plays Sunderland at home in 31. And I think Everton at home in 28. Sorry, I thought it was 29. It's just annoying that after Brentford, there's like 4 of 5 game weeks you don't really want to have to use him. But yeah, like, there will be people out there with defenses where it just makes sense to not get Timber. I think I'm going to get Rice, but there's just part of me just not happy about it. Play VD, Van Dijk, I guess. Esteve or Lefay or -4. I wouldn't -4. God. Probably Estev, which sounds weird, but probably yes. Thiago or Wilson? Thiago probably just about. Wildcard last week. Midfield okay. Rice, Enzo, and Burmo, Fernandez, Anderson. Forward, Evan Nilsson, Krupi, Harden. Defense, Gabriel. Okay. Role or who to replace who to bench. I mean, who are you thinking about selling? Come on, you got to help me a little bit here. I'm not going to go through your whole team and decide your transfer strategy. I mean, you've just wildcarded, so presumably there's not really too much you need to do. Again, like, who are you thinking about benching? Krupi probably. Well, 2 defenders, right? I mean, Reinilda's got Arsenal away, so of course you're benching him. And then Senesi and Krupi probably, unless I'm missing something. You took Dubravka over Kelleher. Yeah. One's playing West Ham at home, and one's away to Newcastle. Bench 1, Anderson, Hall, Rogers, Calvert-Lewin. Lewis Hall, I think, out of them. Szoboszlai to Enzo to Wilson in 28 or Wilson this week. I would either go Szoboszlai to Enzo or just hold Szoboszlai, to be honest. Bench 1 of Wilson, Dewsbury Hall, Thiago or Krupi. Dewsbury Hall, if that's Dewsbury Hall, I assume it is. Can I buy Enzo or anyone else? Have Palmer and no free transfers. I mean, sure, yeah, you can buy Enzo if you want. If you've got no free transfers, then it's for a hit, right? Bench Anderson, Chalobah, or Semenyo. I mean, do you know what? I think Anderson's better than Chalobah. I think it feels wrong to bench Chalobah, though, doesn't it? Honestly, my gut instinct when you asked that question was to bench Semenyo. Can you really bench Semenyo? Chalobah, I guess. That's horrible, though. Roland start Elliot Anderson or Saka to Madueke. I probably wouldn't buy Madueke. Do Saka to Rice, no? That was my first ever super chat. Is Hall fine to keep to game week 32 or is there a minutes risk? I'm not sure how much minutes risk there is there at the moment, to be honest. He does seem to just be playing all the time. There is a slight worry because Burn is back, but it's not like Botman can stay fit either. So I think if they can... The problem with Newcastle is they've got Champions League playoff games and stuff like that, so they have just got additional fixtures all the time. But in theory, Lewis Hall should keep his place if he can stay fit, I would say. Like, he is the defender. If I was selling a defender, he is the one I would get rid of. But yeah. Transfers for the next 2 weeks. O'Reilly to Minos / Wilson to Rice. Which one this week? Oh, sorry. Wow, get Rice. Like, if you've got a dilemma between which transfers and one of them is to get an Arsenal player before Sunderland at home in a double, you should probably just get the Arsenal player, right? If I do... Oh, okay. So Minoz and Wilson or Rice and O'Reilly or Van Dijk. Okay. I still think I would just get Rice because you know you're going to want him next week. 8.3 in the bank. Oh, that's a good... Do you know what? That's just giving me... What are the clean sheet odds this week? I should get something on screen which show the clean sheet odds, shouldn't I? I'm sure there's a way to do that. Someone that's smarter than me. Yeah, I should do that. Maybe I'll change the widgets on screen and put on the clean sheet odds somewhere. I can't do that right now. But you've just given me an idea. 8.3 in the bank. Lefay to another mid for a -4 or play Vandenberg. Oh, I would take a -4, I think. Vandenberg's not guaranteed to start. I suspect Collins is going to come back in. Oh, Jesus. Currently have Enzo, Bruno, Semenyo, and Rice. Verts, maybe? I'm not... Enzo or Vert? Oh, sorry, you've got Enzo. Enzo, Bruno, Semenyo, and Rice. Yeah, Verts, maybe? I feel like I'm missing someone obvious. Oh, in Burmo. Yeah, I'd probably get in Burmo first. Play Dubravka or Petrovic. I'm going to say Dubravka. 22 months. Benching conundrums. Bench Gay or Richards? Gay. Calvert-Lewin or Evan Nilsson? I'm going to say play Calvert-Lewin, I think. Start one of Gay, Verts. Verts. Bench one of Rodon, Hill, Ekatike, Hill. Oh my god. So many questions come in. I think Haaland will start it. To be fair, James on Planet FPL, he did make a good point as to why Haaland might not start, but he did also say at the same time his prediction will be that Haaland starts. So, play Hill, Keane, or Mukiele. Hill, I think. My bench is in Jai Anderson. Does any bench player replace the main team? I would probably play in Jai over Anderson, like Elliot Anderson, to be honest. Defender Anderson, I think Defender Anderson might be better than Chalobah, but it's close, and I understand why you want to play Chalobah, so I think it's fine. But I would play in Jai over Elliot Anderson. I have to take a -4 because Stack is injured and no bench. Do I do Stack to Harry Wilson or Anderson, or Dorgu to Senesi or Cash? Depends how much money you've got, obviously. I would probably do... Harry Wilson or Elliot Anderson's close. If Harry Wilson keeps playing, he's quite a good long-term buy. So I'd probably say Stack to Harry Wilson. Van Heck or Wilson start. Wilson, play Senesi or Timber as Timber's without. If you've got Timber, just put him in your 11. Trying to catch up in the league, currently at 13.66 points. Is it worth taking a -4 for Raya to Rice? No. Anderson or Semenyo starter? Again, gut feeling is Anderson is better, but if I had that choice, I'd probably start Semenyo. Bench one, Van Dijk or Calvert-Lewin? Or Cash? Van Dijk or Cash? I'm going to say bench Cash. Any sense in captaining Palmer, or am I going mad? I don't think it's terrible, but I probably wouldn't do it if you own Bruno Fernandes. Bench one, Evan Nilsson, Hall, Verts, or Anderson? Lewis Hall. Lemans and James to Sanchez and Timber. Sanchez, Gabriel, Haaland, best captain, Bruno. James, Lemans and James to Sanchez and Timber. That sounds pretty good to me, yeah. Raul to João Pedro or Roll. Probably Roll for me. Bench one of Anderson, Wilson, Raul, or Njai. Probably Anderson. Join late. What are you doing with Saka? 17 months. Selling him to Mbermo. And then either buying Rice or Timber as well. Start two of Kroopy, Haaland, or Thiago. I'd bench Kroopy. Ray, bench boost active. Thoughts on this bench boost? Oh, so you put brackets in. That's so handy. Dubravka, Cash, no, there's no way I'd bench that. Cash and Mukiele are not that great, I would say. I know Mukiele's been amazing, but it is Arsenal away now. Matty, 29 months. Is Zubamendi a decent option instead of Rice? I mean, he's not terrible, but I ideally try and find the money for Rice next week, I would say, if you can't do it this week. Bench two of Semenyo, Rodon, Van Heck, Chow, Rao, Evan Nilsson. Van Heck and Chow, probably. Would you have time to walk your team backwards from a desired Game Week 31 team? Well, Enzo to Verts, Saka to Mbermo, Szoboszlai either stay or to like a Harry Wilson or to a Rodgers. Then the rest of the team probably stays as it is, I guess, something like that. And who to start of the fantastic trio of O'Reilly, Keane, and Alderete? Probably that order that you've got them in. Trying to catch 53 points, Captain Bruno or Differential Bowen. Bruno, I would say. Best Saka replacement. My other mids are Bruno, Mbermo, Rice, Wilson. Already have 3 Chelsea. Oh, wow. I wouldn't take a -4. Verts, probably. Bench Timber, Munoz, or Anderson. Anderson. Gabriel, Anderson, Chalobah, Chow. Which 3 to start? I'm guessing that's Joachim, man. Is it Joachim Anderson, though? Either way, I'd bench Chow, I think. Bench Thiago or Evan Nilsson. I'm going to say Thiago begrudgingly. Play Maguire or Senesi. Harry Maguire. Chances of Bruno G start. I think an okay chance. I wouldn't take a -4. Captain João Pedro and Bruno. Start Thiago or Kroopy. Thiago. Rayan from Bournemouth or Somerville from West Ham? Probably Somerville, because I think you can be more sure about his minutes right now. Thoughts on bench boost? Dubravka, Senesi, Kroopy, Chalobah. Definitely bench boostable, I would say. How can you have played 15 years and have 24 years worth of finishes? Because a top 5k is also a top 10k, although it does seem to confuse a few people. Maybe I shouldn't do it like that. Like a top 50k is also a top 100k, etc. Play Henderson or Petrovic? Petrovic probably because he's at home. You need a wildcard video. I'm probably not going to have time to do one while I'm streaming. Bench one from Rodon, Tarkovsky, and Thiago. Probably Tarkovsky. I feel like a Thiago brace is inevitable. Hopefully, even though I've got Lewis Hall, hopefully Thiago gets a brace. That would be nice. Hopefully a Thiago brace and a Lewis Hall goal. I'll take that right now, obviously. Bench Wilson, Rodgers, or Raul Jimenez. Rodgers. Start 2 out of Wilson and Jai and Thiago. I would probably just start the 2 penalty takers, I think. Haaland bench. I don't think so. What's the update on Keane starting? There's no update. I mean, yeah, we're not gonna have an update. That's all I can say. I think he probably will start, but I can't guarantee it. Start Joachim Anderson on Dewsbury Hall. I reckon Joachim Anderson. I reckon Joachim. Marmouche deserves a start. Do you know? I don't necessarily disagree. I just the problem is if you bench Haaland, that's a big talking point for Pep. Like you rested in midweek and now you're not starting him against Liverpool. That's just lots of questions for Pep. That's why I just don't see it happening. But I do get the merits in starting Marmouche. Only got Rice / Gabriel. Do I -4 to get Timber now or start Anderson? Just start Anderson. Get Timber for free next week. What rank am I in Ireland? I am 85th. In the Aston Villa League, I'm 19th because it won't switch me to the Man United League. Yeah, I think Keane will start. I'm just less sure now than I was before the Mikalenko update, I guess. Enzo or João Pedro captain? Oof. Enzo, probably. In Burma or Parma for the next 3-4? I mean, Parma, honestly, if there's no other... In isolation, probably Parma. But the better player to buy is probably in Burma, honestly. I'm sure I don't want Rice or 3 Arsenal defence. Damn. I would definitely want one of those 2 things. Bench Calvert-Lewin or Thiago? Thiago. When does selling Haaland become an option? Could look something like this. Bruno Palmer in Burma. Well, when Palmer's an option, I guess. Yeah, I don't see me selling Haaland anytime soon unless he actually gets dropped again. Who to buy this week in Burma or Verts? I'm going to go for Burma personally. Play 2. Chow, Anderson, and Jai. Have Thiago. Yeah, I'd bench... I'd bench Chow either way, to be honest. Bench 1, Chow or Alderete. The guy playing Arsenal away, I think. What would be the biggest reason to go for Bruno Fernandes for captaincy over Gabriel? I got to be honest, I really need an extremely good reason to captain a defender. Now, next week I might have it because it's a double and there's not really many exciting attacking options. But most of the time, I'm always going to favour the attacker. Favourite cafe in Weston? I wouldn't even be able to name any these days, I don't think. I haven't lived there for like 15 years or more. No, not 15. 14 years. Actually, I've just today is... Oh, actually, no. I was going to say today is the exact date I moved to Ireland, but it's actually not. It's the exact date I started at EA when I moved to Ireland. I think I moved to Ireland on the 3rd of February. Yeah, cafes in Weston, no idea. Start 2 and bench 1. Thiago Larson, Strand Larson, and Watkins. I think you got to bench Strand Larson. Should I swap Semenyo or Krupi on the bench? I'd probably play Semenyo. Oh, Krupi versus... No, I'd probably play Chalobah, I think. Yeah. Just about. Treats Cafe. Treats. It does ring a bell, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I've been in there. Treats Cafe. It rings a bell. Where did I get up to? I wildcarded this week, but I've got triple Bournemouth, Man United, and AFC Arsenal. I guess is that a problem going fourth? And I'm unsure about Croupy, Brobby, and Hill. I wouldn't have Brobby if I was wildcarding now. That's for sure. I mean, triple Bournemouth's probably okay, yeah, and Man United and Arsenal. I don't know if I would have triple Man United, but it's not terrible. Start 2, Calvert-Lewin, Senesi, Garner, Goodmanson. Go for the Leeds, guys. Need an 8.4 million midfielder instead of Wilson. I have Bruno, Semenyo, Verts, and Enzo. I would just keep Wilson, honestly. Otherwise, Rodgers maybe, but Wilson to Rodgers is a rubbish move. Or you could go like Elliot Anderson or Sarr, maybe. Sarr might be on penalties if Mateta's out. But then he blanks in 31, so you need to decide if you've got the transfers to deal with that. I would be very tempted just to keep Wilson. Member for 33 months, D. Frizzler. I have no one in bench. I have Giu, Garner, and Dorgu. Take a minus for Wilson or Senesi or any other suggestions. Well, if your 11 is going to start, then I wouldn't take a -4, I guess. Like, who in your team is a problem, I suppose, is the question. Yeah. Having no bench is not great, I get it. But if your 11 is likely to all start, I wouldn't worry too much. The Bravcrawl, Pickford, start Virgil, Gabriel, Anderson, or go -4 for Timber. I wouldn't take a -4. Cunha to Rice, 1 free transfer. Enzo, Sarr, and Burmo, Semenyo midfield. Yeah, it's probably got to be Cunha in that case. I don't know whether to do Kelleher to Raya or O'Reilly to Timber. All this doubt, Timber's put me off. I would do O'Reilly to Timber, I think. Play 2 of Chow, Goodmanson, Nunez, and Mukiele. I would play the 2, not playing Liverpool and Arsenal away. Bench 1, Wilson, Rice, Ekatike, Semenyo. Play Thiago and Hill or Rodgers and Chow. Okay, I see your dilemma. Yeah, Thiago and Hill. In Burmo and Saliba or Semenyo and Timber this game week. In Burmo and Saliba, would you do Semenyo to Rice for free? If that's your only way to get Rice, yeah. I think so. Timber is a doubt. Is he though? I mean, Arteta said he's fine. So why is he a doubt? Thinking of selling the injured Xhaka for Anderson, or should I complete Arsenal triple up with Zubimendi? Yeah, I would just get Anderson and try and get a different Arsenal player next week. I think. Where in Dublin do you live? I don't live in Dublin. I mean, I live in Ireland. That doesn't mean Dublin. That's like if you say you're from England and you say, "Oh, where in London are you?" Munoz or Anderson in defence. If I had Munoz, you'd have to start him, right? I mean, yeah, could Timber be benched? I guess, but he's not a doubt. I mean, people have like got me worried that Ben White is going to start, but my bet is probably Timber. Bench 1, Creepy, Lefay, or Cash. Oh, Lefay. Probably Lefay. No, I don't know actually. No, I'd say Cash. Gabriel in for Tarkovsky -4. Probably not. No. Start Van Heck or Tarkovsky. Van Heck, I think. Bijal over Tarkovsky. Better fixtures, but Minzris. I would just start Tarkovsky in that case. Bench 1 of Van Dijk, Goodmanson, or Tiano Barry. Van Dijk. Start Munoz or Cash. Yeah, you got Munoz. You got to go for it, I think. Thanks for watching. Bench 1 of Gay, Senesi, or Saboslai. Gay, I think. Is that really your rank? 1809. Yes. For now. It's going to be... No, I'm not going to say that. Dubravka, Krupi, Senesi, Van Dijk, bench boost. I think that's a justifiable bench boost, but it's not... Van Dijk would put me off a little bit, I think. Play Thiago Goodmanson, Thiago. Bench one, Rogers, Joachim Anderson, or Senesi. Senesi. Would you start Garner or Alderete? Garner. Like, Sunderland play, like, I know they've been really good, but they are playing Arsenal away. What's my goal for the rest of the season in terms of rank? Finish as high as possible. Play Calvert-Lewin, Thiago, Rogers, Rodon, Hill. Oh, play 3, sorry. All the attackers. Start 2, Anderson, Gay, or Krupi. I would bench Gay. Bench 1, Wilson, Ekatike, Thiago. Ooh, Wilson, probably. Bruno G to Mbermo or Roll. I'd be tempted to get Mbermo. I do think Bruno G will probably start, but I'd be tempted just to get Mbermo. By the way, part of me has thought, do I just do Saka to Mbermo and make the Arsenal decision next week? But then missing Sunderland at home sucks. Can you explain why you chose Anderson over Senesi? Joachim, man, I think Everton at home is just a better fixture than Villa at home, basically. And Fulham, arguably better defence as well than Bournemouth. Bench 1, Wilson, Semenyo, Thiago, Semenyo. Bench 2 is Calvert-Lewin, Cash Gay. Probably not for me. Start Conjure or Calvert-Lewin, or Vandenberg, Calvert-Lewin. Would you bench boost Kelleher, Szoboszlai, Lewis Hall, Lacroix? I think it's just about justifiable, but probably not. Rank Bowen, João Pedro, Ekatike, Thiago to buy right now. I mean, João Pedro, Ekatike, Bowen, then Thiago. But from 27, I think Thiago jumps to the top of the list. Bench Semenyo or Elliot Anderson, or probably Elliot Anderson, but I don't know if that's the right decision. Which 2 would you bench? Milenkovic, Van Dijk, Munoz, O'Reilly, and O'Brien. O'Brien, like, am I being really stupid? Who's O'Brien? Oh, for Everton. Okay. I was probably being a bit stupid. I mean, you're not... Probably O'Reilly and Van Dijk, I think. Bench 1, Senesi or Thiago? Senesi, sure. Right, what am I going to... I got an hour. I can wait. I'm probably just going to get Rice, but I'm really not super duper convinced about it. Just deep. Why is no one talking about Gay's attacking threat? I don't know. What do you want to talk about it about? What about his attacking threat do you want to talk about? Maybe that's why everyone wants to start him. Not in a rush to do it, but would you do Lacroix to Mukiele to free up money? I mean, Lacroix's got Burnley at home followed by Wolves at home, so probably not. Maybe in 28 or 20. Yeah, 28. Best goalkeeper for the next 5 game weeks. Raya got a double. Bruno or Palmer, captain Bruno. You know that you're going to wait a couple of minutes for the deadline to make your move. Yeah, like why would I not do that though? There might be some super interesting information that comes out. In fact, let me see if Arteta's been in touch. Arteta might have messaged me to say, do you know what, Timber is starting. Is a back 3, Raya, Gabriel, Timber good together? Yes. Saka to Rice or Saka to Rice and Wilson to Mbermo? I think Wilson you can hold, I think. Why are you saying Senesi bench each time? Why anti-Senesi? I mean, because I think the other player will score more points. Yeah. I mean, Senesi's fine, but there's, you know. Would you start Chow or Rodon? Probably Rodon, I think. You have Hall versus Thiago. Yeah, it's fine. I think Hall, like, look, you can make a case to start Senesi over Hall because I've got Thiago, but I think Hall is just better this week. Am I locked in on my vice captain? Who is my vice captain? Oh, Gabriel, yeah. Although, would I switch? No, probably not. I could put vice captain in Burma, I guess. Do you think 3 Arsenal is a must for the double? Can Timber and Gabriel be enough? I mean, it might be okay, but I think I would lean towards oh, what am I trying to say? Yeah, I would lean to having 3 for sure. Especially when they got Sunderland at home this week. With the news, Senesi and Saliba or Timber and Hall. Hill, sorry. Timber and Hill, just about. Would you start all or only 3, and which 3? Rodgers, Foden, Somerville, Gakpo, Anderson. I would probably start all 3, but it depends like what your other options are, right? Does it really matter if 2 of your players are playing against each other? Not necessarily. Because obviously, you know, Thiago could score, so could Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall could get defcons. Lewis Hall could get an assist. I think if it's really, really close, I will opt to not have my defender playing my attacker, but I don't really worry about it too much. Like, I think Newcastle are just more likely to get a clean sheet than Bournemouth. Doesn't mean they will, of course. And I'm hoping they don't because they've got Thiago. Is Palmer ready for back-to-back 90 minutes? I think Rossini was asked about that, and he basically said they got to take it game by game. I did look earlier, though. Palmer did start games with a 3-day gap twice over Christmas. He didn't play 90 minutes in both of them, though, but he has done it already twice. Konza or Nunez? Ooh, probably Konza, but I don't think either's that great, I don't think. Top tip, Saka out this week. That's a good tip, yeah? Probably should sell him. Do 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 do. Bit worried about not having João Pedro. I haven't really thought about him much this week, to be honest. Like, he's better than Thiago the next couple of weeks for sure, but I don't know if I'm that worried. Like, obviously, he could do well. How do we feel about triple Arsenal for next week? I mean, everyone's going to have triple Arsenal next week, I think. Start 2, Thiago, Anderson, Wilson, Gay, Keane. 2, Thiago and Wilson, probably. Anderson also pretty good. Do you think Saka might actually be back already? I don't think so. That would be really annoying if he is, by the way. Really annoying if Saka's back already. That was my differential captain for game week 26. Oh, I'm gutted we lost that. I think I would have done it as well. I'm pretty sure if Saka had... Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Saka was fit going into 26, I think I would have captained him. Would I have triple captained him? Don't know about that. The way you respond to some of these simple questions is hilarious. Love the direct bluntness, pure entertainment. Well, I'm glad it's entertaining, but I'm just trying to answer quickly, you know. Bruno G to Mbama or Rice? Rice. Wilson, Semenyo, Enzo, Bruno F midfield. Nice. Gabriel, no Raya, by the way. Yeah, fair enough. Not ideal. I would want Gabriel for next week. Thiago or Calvert-Lewin? Calvert-Lewin just about. Play or bench Caicedo? Depends who you'd have to bench him for. Tarkovsky / Garner versus Anderson. Anderson for me. Is there much risk going for Timber? Even if he's benched, most people have him anyway. Well, you don't want to buy a player that's benched, right? So if you think he's going to get benched, there is some risk there. And also there's an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity to not get him if you think he's benched. Because then if everyone's got him, they're not getting points. So you can get points from someone else. Did you just hum It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion? That is the song that is currently on my Spotify, yes. Start Donnarumma or Dubravka? I think I'd go Dubravka. You never answer my question. I'm just a horrible person, honestly. You should probably unsubscribe. Yeah. I just think you have to do it. Get Madueke in as a punt instead of Rice. I would just get Rice, I think. Lewis Hall to Saliba this week or wait till next week. Don't have enough to get Timber or Raya in one move. I would just get Saliba. If you're going to do it anyway next week, just get Saliba now, I think. Play Krupi over Estev. Yes. And Henderson or Dubravka. Henderson. Rice, Chalobah or Palmer Timber. Oh, honestly, Palmer Timber. But Palmer has like knock-on effects, right? He's much more expensive. You've probably got to get rid of him soon. But yeah, Palmer Timber. Is Madueke a good punt or not worth it? The problem is Saka could be back by the Wolves game, right? We just don't know. So I just wouldn't bother. Would you bench boost with Dubravka, Wilson, Chow, and Mukiele? Mukiele kind of ruins it a bit for me, I think. Start one. Brobby, Rodon, Garner, Rodon. Going for Rice. Could upgrade Dewsbury Hall or Szoboszlai. Upgrading Dewsbury Hall blocks me from Munoz, and later Verts would have to keep Szoboszlai for a while or go. I mean, Szoboszlai's kind of okay, I think. Depends how much you want to block Munoz, I suppose. Munoz is really good 26-27. Afterwards, still not bad, but thoughts on the punt Zubamendi game week 24 and Ahmad for 25. I just wouldn't bother with someone like Zubamendi. Like, he's fine. He can get returns. He can get defcons. But ideally, you just buy a different Arsenal player, I think. To be honest. Play Pope or Dubravka. Pope. Sell Dewsbury Hall for Mbermo or be nostalgic and keep. I mean, Mbermo is better, right? I think at the moment it's very difficult to kind of justify Dewsbury Hall in midfield just because, well, actually, no, that's rubbish because I've got Anderson. He's not that much more expensive. I should say there's more money to go around at the moment, right? And like Dewsbury Hall's good as an enabler, but then I've got Anderson, so I'll just shut up. I'm talking absolute rubbish. Play 3. Van Dijk, Gabriel, Van Heck, Chalobah. You're starting Gabriel, right? Yeah, that's straightforward. Gabriel, Van Heck, Chalobah, I think. Swap Palmer for Mbermo or swap out Lefay for Dewsbury Hall. I would just roll. Why are you anti-Senesi? Are you always going against him? Your answer, well, maybe because I think the other player will score more points. Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm not anti-Senesi. I think I've owned Senesi ever since game week 4. Like, I think he's been in my team that whole time. I think Joachim Anderson, Van Dijk, and Senesi were all on my wildcard in game week 4. So I'm hardly against any of them, you know. This Villa's not easy, you know. It's not easy. Is Timber okay this week? Arteta said he's fine, was the words he said. So presumably he's available to start. Will he definitely start? I guess there's some doubts there, but my prediction before was that he will start. So my prediction is still that he will start. Would you do a straight swap from Van Dijk to Cucurella or roll? I'd probably just roll. Crazy, not heard Salah's name once. There you go, you just heard it. I made Saka to Rice for -4 for 3 Arsenal players. Saliba. Oh, -4. No, I would just get him next week. Pick one to transfer in. Semenyo reverts in Mbermo. Am I buying Timber? I'm so tempted to buy Timber because that was my thought all week, but I kind of talked myself into Rice today because I felt like there was no other option. I mean, how much do I think Szoboszlai is a terrible pick now? Like, I think Szoboszlai's kind of okay after this week. Oh, I don't know. If I go Rice, I can do Enzo to Verts. If I go Timber, I cannot do Enzo to Verts in game week 28. But I might be able to if I free up some money elsewhere. But what is that move going to be? I don't know. Apart from selling Timber, maybe. But I think if I get Timber, I just keep him the whole way through, probably. Dubravka, Rodon, Richards, Elliot Anderson, bench boost. Yes, I think so. That's definitely bench boostable. If Harden is suddenly out with an injury, how would you distribute the funds? Honestly, I probably wouldn't worry about distributing the funds. Like Elliot Anderson up to someone, but there's not really many places to spend the money. Salah probably, actually. Raya, Gabriel, Senesi, Chalobah, Enzo, RIC, but the you're gonna have to write that again in English. Haaland, okay. Thiago, João Pedro, Haaland, Verts, BUT, but that's a midfielder, but I don't know who. But RIC is probably Rice, I guess. I don't know what the question is, by the way. You just written your 11, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I've got to figure this out. Who is BUT for a midfielder? Verts, Rice, Butt, Butcher. Who is BUT? So I don't want to in Burmo. Probably not in Burmo. So I've scrolled up the chat now because I know you're all writing in the chat who it is, but I want to work it out. Gabriel, Senesi, Chalobah. Chab is Chalobah, I guess. Enzo, Rice, Butt, Verts. Who's BUT? Oh, bye. Oh my god. Wait, but I still don't get it though because there's like 5 names on the left. No, it's not. It's not by. I don't think. I don't think it is by. I'm sorry. I don't. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I'm afraid. Dubravka or Emi Martinez? I'm going to say Dubravka. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Enzo? Enzo's not really on your bench. Come on. Gay and Van de Ven. No, probably not. There's no way you're benching Enzo this week. Surely. If Timber is not playing, Mukiele comes in from the bench. I can transfer out Dorgu for a defender, but is it better to roll? I would roll and risk it, yeah. Oh, Bruno. Okay. I still don't know what the question is. You just sent your team. What's the question? I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Okay, BUT was Bruno. There you go. Should I start Larson with Watkins over Thiago? I would start Watkins and Thiago, I think. Wait, did he say that? Oh, did he say that Matessa's not going to play? I still think I would start Thiago over Strand Larson for now. Best combo: Raya and Van Dijk or Verbruggen and Timber. This week, Verbruggen and Timber. Will you do, and probably next week as well, will you do Semenyo and Van Dijk to Bruno and Wan-Bissaka? I wouldn't buy Wan-Bissaka. I'd probably go for Goodmanson or Reinildo if you need someone cheap. But getting Bruno is good. I have 2 free transfers. Sell Saka for Mbeumo or Rice. I have Gabriel and Raya. I would... yeah, so if you can do Saka to Mbeumo and O'Reilly to Timber, that looks pretty good to me. Garner to Mbeumo or Roll. Pretty good move, I would say. I need to bench one or... So yeah, why not? I need to bench one of Tarkovsky, Anderson, or Evan Nielsen. Tarkovsky, start one. Munoz, Chow, or Rodon. Munoz, my midfield is Rice, Mbeumo, Fernandez, Enzo, and Szoboszlai. Who would you rather to replace Szoboszlai or just Roll? Probably Roll, but... Oh, actually, yeah, I was going to say Rice. Yeah, probably Roll. That midfield's pretty good. Start Gay or Anderson in defence. Anderson. Start 2, Krupi, Tarkovsky, and Jai. I'd bench Tarkovsky, I think, just about of those. I think, yeah. Defcons does make me think maybe Tarkovsky could be better than Krupi, but if you've got Krupi, you probably start him. Start Calvert-Lewin or Rogers, Calvert-Lewin. -4 for Timber to bench Hill or Anderson. No, I don't think so. Bench Gay or Alderete. Alderete. I went Saka and Gay to Verts and Timber. Triple Arsenal defence. Also, Liverpool's fixtures better long term. Yeah, fair enough. Start Semenyo or Rogers. Rogers. Mbeumo, captain or João Pedro. Mbeumo. Have you considered just selling Saka for Mbeumo? I know you will miss one Arsenal for a good game, but yeah, I have considered that. I have. It just feels wrong to do that. I mean, I think if I was only going to spend one transfer, I would just go Saka to Rice. And just decide what to do next week and really just roll those transfers. I mean, that probably is my best move, you know. Just Saka to Rice. And just still have 2 free transfers next week. I mean, that's the kind of move I've done all season. is just keep rolling transfers until I'm like forced into using them. Because that way you're in a much more flexible position. Like, imagine if I go Saka to Rice and Szoboszlai to Mbeumo and Rice gets injured. That'd be a disaster, because then I need 2 transfers to go to defence. To triple defence. So maybe Saka to Rice is the one. Just make the one move. It just feels a bit passive when I can just get Mbeumo for Szoboszlai right now. But rolling is just never bad. And it's a midweek game week. Not that that makes really too much difference, but Thiago had 2 goals versus Newcastle in game week 11. Captain him or Fernandes. Which midfielder sits this week? Wilson, Semenyo, Rice, Bruno, F, Enzo. Semenyo. Have Gabriel and Saliba debating Saka to Rice or Mbeumo this week, then Royce to Raya next week. Probably just Saka to... Oh... Yeah, I'd probably just get Rice. Not worry about goalkeeper transfers for now. 3 free transfers, Dorgu to Anderson or Dorgu and Welbeck to Chalobah and Krupi. Probably just Dorgu to Anderson. Bench 2, Gabriel, Rodon, Gay, Van der Ven, Canate, Captain João Pedro. If you haven't got... Well, yeah, I would just captain Bruno if you've got him. Well, you're not benching Gabriel, are you? Come on. Gabriel, I would play Gabriel, Rodon, and Gay, I think. Chow, Tarkovsky, bench 1. Tarkovsky just about. Would you bench boost Anderson, Thiago, Cash, Dubravka? Yes, but I don't think that's really your bench. If not, start one from Anderson, Wilson, Thiago. I mean, I would start Thiago over both Anderson and Wilson, but that doesn't make your bench that much worse, right? If I'm saying Thiago over Wilson, then you've got a bench of Anderson, Dubravka, Wilson, Cash. I'd be tempted to bench boost that. Start 1, Goodmanson, Vandenberg or Reinildo, Goodmanson, and start Dubravka over Verbruggen. Start Senesi defence over Thiago. No. Will Harden start? No news, but probably. Petrovic, Krupi, Tark, Rodon, worth a bench boost. Yes, that is bench boostable. Start 2 of Dewsbury Hall, Harry Wilson, Chow, Van der Ven, and Chow. Harry Wilson and Chow probably. No, Harry Wilson and Dewsbury Hall. What about Gyökeres for double game week 26? The minutes are just not there, unfortunately. Not with Jesus around. Yeah, obviously, if you've got issues or injuries, then yeah, you'll have to use your transfers. But I don't have that issue, right? I could just do Saka to Rice and roll. It wouldn't be ideal. I'd rather have him Burma than Szoboszlai, but maybe that extra transfer is more useful later on. I don't know. You have outdated... Oh, hang on a second. You might be right. Sorry, there you go. That should be up to date now, I think. Bench 2, Lacroix, Gay, Njai, or Krupi. I would play Njai and Krupi. Bench boost, Dubravka, Hill, Thiago, Gay. Yes, but again, is Thiago really on your bench? Start Watkins, Evan Nielsen, or Maguire. Watkins. Can I catch the leader in my min league who's 100 points ahead of me? Yes. When do you go rogue? And maybe wait until post game week. Give it a few more weeks. Like, yeah, I'd say maybe when you start getting to 27, 28, possibly you might have to go. I mean, 100 points is already quite a lot, but there is a lot of chips still to be played. So I wouldn't panic just yet. Play 5 midfielders with 2 up top or play 4 midfielders with 3 up top. I mean, what's your actual benching decision, though? I mean, I would probably bench Foden out of those. So I guess 3-4-3. Worth... Yeah, probably. Worth Wilson / Anderson to Mbeumo. 2 free transfers, both starting. Probably not. I'd maybe roll that. Start Szoboszlai or Krupi. Szoboszlai, I think. What are your thoughts about Palmer captain pick? I think it's not as good as Bruno. Captain Gertrude or Isidore? Isidore. Start 1. Although, surely if they're both going to come on, surely you go for the defender, right? Surely. Start 1, Munoz, Krupi, Senesi. Munoz. Bench 2, Wilson, Krupi, Thiago, Chalobah. Bench 2. Chalobah and Krupi. Start 2 of Ekatike, Bruno G, and Wilson. I bench Bruno G. Bench 1, Chalobah, Richards, Senesi. Richards. Bench one, Anderson, Krupi, Evan Nilsson. Krupi, can you give me an order, please? Well, you only need to bench one, so I don't get what you mean for an order. I'd bench Krupi and I would bench Richard, so I'd play the other four. Bench booster, Bravka, Krupi, Anderson, Rodon. Yes, very bench boostable, I would say. Your rank is 1 million less than mine. Is it possible to catch you? Probably. Start Igor Jesus or Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin. Planning Rogers to Rice to 26. Do it now or wait. If you're definitely going to do that move next week, I would probably just do it now, yeah. What is... Sorry. Would you sell Keane to Anderson, any defender to bench Van Dijk? No, I don't think so. I somehow feel Szoboszlai now is an expensive Anderson. Yeah, probably. You're not probably wrong there. Apart from he's probably not as good for defensive contributions. Probably does take more set pieces as well, right? Pick 2 for Fafana, Mukiele, Gay, Rodon. Fafana and Rodon, I guess. But Fafana's not guaranteed to start. That's the problem. I'm going to say Rodon and Gay. Who to put first on bench order, Krupi or Senesi? Krupi ahead of Senesi, I think. Because I'm so anti-Senesi, you know? Bench 1 of Wilson, Njai, Thiago, or Raul Jimenez. Bench 1. Wilson, probably. Just start all the penalty takers. Play Chow or Goodmanson. I'm going to say Goodmanson. If you could afford Palmer still, him or Mbermo. If you've got the spare transfers to deal with Palmer, then Palmer. But Mbermo's just a bit safer, I think. And you can hold him for longer, and he's less money. Szoboszlai to Mbermo, or Szoboszlai to Anderson and Guiu to João Pedro. I wouldn't use the extra transfer for João Pedro. Dubravka, Szoboszlai, Kanate, Van der Ven, bench boost. I wouldn't bench boost that. Bench Thiago, Dewsbury Hall, or Tarkovsky. Tarkovsky. Although there is an argument to play him ahead of Dewsbury Hall. Play Van Dijk or Munoz. Munoz. Dubravka, Anderson, Roger, Mukiele, bench boost. Again, I probably would if that's your legit bench because you got Rogers there, but Mukiele kind of spoils it a bit. Dorgu and stacked Garner and Rodon, or Anderson and Rodon. I'd get Anderson over Garner, I think. Would you do Saka to Verts and Chow to Timber -4? No, I'd just do one move. I would just do the Saka move this week and then the other one next week, I think. João Pedro or Calvert-Lewin for this week? Probably João Pedro, but Calvert-Lewin's... I wouldn't sell Calvert-Lewin to João Pedro, I don't think. When does the Leeds vs Nottingham Forest start 11 come out? Hour and 15 minutes before kickoff. Bench 2 players, Verts, Cash, Chow, Cash. Bench booster, Bravka, Krupi, Anderson, Senesi. Again, that is quite bench boostable, yeah? I would say. Play 3, Haaland, Semenyo, Thiago, or Ekitike. I would bench Semenyo out of those. Raul Jimenez to Ekitike. I probably wouldn't do that right now, no. Wilson / Anderson to Rice / Verts, or O'Reilly to Saliba. O'Reilly to Saliba, I think. I think that's a bigger issue to deal with. Dubravka or Sanchez. Sanchez. Chalobah or Senesi or Richards. Chalobah. Play 5 midfielders with 2 up top of 4. I've answered that one already, by the way. I would... Yeah, I would probably bench Foden, I think I said last time. Saka to Mbermo, Palmer, or Rice. Rice. Why didn't you sell Saka yet? Because he's got 38 minutes till the deadline. Saar blanking in 31 is part of the reason I'm not considering him. Also, I guess it's probably better to buy him next week than this week. 1 free transfer, Gordon to Rice, O'Reilly to Senesi -4, or play Anderson. Play Anderson. Chill with the hits. Chill with the hits. Most of you don't need them. Thoughts on Cherky minutes? I think he starts. Probably gets subbed early, but I think he starts. Why not Saar, but maybe yes, Minoz? Because if I buy in Burmo and Rice, I wouldn't need Saar, right? We all dislike the 5 free transfer due to AFCON, but in reverse, do you feel you have maximised them? Maybe. I can't really remember what I used them for. I think I used them better than a lot of people, at least. I didn't blow them all straight away. Start Dubravka or Henderson. Henderson. Cunha in Burmo and Burmo. Prediction for Liverpool versus City. Liverpool 2-1, maybe. Start Calvert-Lewin, Elliot Anderson, and Evan Nielsen. I'll start 2, sorry. I'd bench Anderson in that case. Any chance Sheshko starts? Maybe a small one, but probably not. If you have space for either, Munoz or Saar. I mean, probably Saar, I guess. Bench boost to Bravka, Evan Nielsen, just because of the penalties, hopefully. Bench boost to Bravka, Evan Nielsen, Senesi, Maguire. If that's your legit bench with Evan Nielsen, then probably yes. -4 from Burma. Who to bench? Krupi, Wilson, Anderson. I wouldn't -4. I'd just start Wilson. What about mins risk for Timber versus minutes risk for Rice? I mean, Rice is pretty much guaranteed to start all the games, right? Is there a slight more risk with Timber? Yes, but I think he will start. If I buy Timber and he doesn't start, though, oh my god, that would kill me. Verts or in... There's almost just feel like I should just buy Rice and be done with it. Verts or in Burmo. Timber for Chow / Keane or Guy for João Pedro. I'd get Timber. Who to bench? Kelleher, Dubravka, Kelleher, and Thiago or Wilson. Am I nervous? No, not really. 2 free transfers. Use 2 and bench Thiago. 2 free transfers are Michael Keane and Saka to Saliba and Burma, or 1 free transfer, Saka to Rice, play Thiago. I'd probably just play Thiago, I think. Do Saka to Rice. Yeah. Start 3. Mukiele, Wilson, Rodon, Gay, Senesi, Thiago. Thiago, Wilson, and Rodon, probably. Start 2. Semenyo, Verts, or Lacroix. I'd bench Lacroix. So unsure about whether to bench boost. Dubravka, Estev, Anderson, Mane. I'm not sure I'd use money to upgrade Estev to bench boost that, to be honest. I would either just bench boost it or don't. I think it's bench boostable, but it's not that amazing either. I think if you're not sure, don't do it. Congrats on a great 24 weeks. How does being in top 2K affect the nerves and decision making? I don't think it's really changed anything. I think I would be debating Rice versus Timber whether I was 2K, 200K, or whatever, you know. Yeah. So it's fine for now. Maybe it'll be different once I get closer to the end of the season if I'm still here. Like, there's a long way to go. Like, I'm just waiting for it to go wrong, basically. Would you rather finish in the top 10 or hit 1 million subs? I mean, if you offered me 500k subs by the end of the season or a top 10 finish, I'm definitely taking the subs, you know? As long as they're going to keep watching. If they're not going to keep watching, I guess I'll take the top 10. Will Haaland start? I'd be very surprised if he doesn't, to be honest with you. Very surprised. Rice is rare. If it's rare, I get Verts for Saka. I'd probably just get Rice, I think. Ivan Eco, sell, roll equals start, Senesi, Goodmanson. Senesi and Goodmanson are fine, I think. Mint chocolate chip or salted caramel ice cream? Probably mint chocolate chip, but I do like salted caramel stuff generally. Chalobah in for Dorgu as backup to Timber or Roll. Chalobah in for Dorgu as backup to Timber or Roll. Just Roll, probably. Start one, Goodmanson or Lacroix. Goodmanson. Do you usually roll transfers to use them on punts at the end of the season? Like, is that a good idea as long as your team feels good? I think so. That is playing on my mind, right? I don't like. I do want to have a good game week 25 to 31, of course, right? And I want to have a good team out in 31. But there is part of me thinking if I roll 2 or 3 transfers into my wild card, then I wild card, save them in 33, so get like 2, so go to 3 or 4 in 33, roll it, 3 hit 34, and then come out in 35 with like 2 to 4 transfers. That could be quite nice at the end of the season. I didn't get to do that last year because I used too many transfers, then took a hit in the blank. But as long as things go okay injury-wise, I think I can get a pretty good team out with minimal transfers in 31. It might not be perfect, but yeah, I would like to roll some transfers through my wild card if possible for the end of the season. But there's also points on offer right now, so if there's good points to take, then I'll spend them. That's why I'm so tempted just to get in Burma. I just don't think Szoboszlai is like a terrible pick. That's why I'm struggling with it. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. The problem, like, what I could do with is just go and looking through it for the next few weeks. Like, but I just, yeah. I feel like I've looked at it so much today, but like, do you ever get that? I feel like I've looked at it like for hours, but I've still not thought about it enough. And so now I'm genuinely just not sure which way to go. That I do like the triple defense. I'll be honest, I do really like that. I just think I actually think my defense is pretty good from now until 31. Like it covers me in most weeks. Which is why Ryson and Burma just works pretty well. And Ryson and Burma lets me do Enzo to Verts in 28, which is also quite nice. I really don't know. I generally do not know. I do like the triple defense because that's going to be the big differential. Like everyone's going to have double defense and Rice, and that's going to be the template play. I think. If I go for Rice, I'll probably just keep him right up until 31. I think. It's really just whether you think in Burma / Rice is a big upgrade compared to Szoboszlai. Well, I mean, obviously Rice is better than Szoboszlai. I mean, Burma is better than Szoboszlai as well, I guess. The thing is, if I do Rice in Burma, I could even get Munoz for Lewis Hall. I could do that. I don't think I will, but I could. I'm not... Well, that's the thing. I think it's close between Rice and Timber. That's why I'm thinking about the differential. I honestly think either way is fine, which is why I'm more tempted to do Timber. Yeah. Like, who do I think scores more points? Rice, Tip? No idea. Yeah, honestly, it's so close. They'll end up being a big swing one way or the other, but it's impossible to predict which way. I would like to just buy in Burma as well. Although I'm going to do that anyway, I think. I think either way I'm buying in Burma. Although I could just do Saka to Rice and go... that would be the really boring play. Just Saka to Rice and roll the other transfer. But I don't think that's terrible. I don't think it's completely terrible. The thing with Rice is like you just no one's ever looking at the team sheet thinking, oh, I wonder if Rice is going to be on here, you know? Yeah, I can do Szoboszlai to Mbermo. I said that already. So am I going for Timber or not? I'm probably going to go for Timber unless I go for Rice. And I'm probably going to go for Rice unless I go for Timber, I would say. Szoboszlai came in as a penalty taker, number 10, set piece taker, king of the angels, protector of the realm. Now he's a right back with set pieces. Yeah, but if he's right back, he's better for Defcons then, right? Like last week. I mean, my right back outscored Wilson, outscored Rodgers last week. Yeah, how did your Rodgers do? My right back got 5 points last week with no attacking returns. My highest ever finish is like I think it's 1294. I think that actually might be it exactly. Right backs are not usually good for defcons. I mean, it definitely improves his defcons, I think, playing that role compared to normal. Is it really? Anyway, there's so many super chats here. I don't think I think I've missed loads. Best goalkeeper for the next 5 weeks? No 31 blank. Sanchez maybe. I've not really thought about goalkeepers too much. Sanchez, I suppose, or yeah, Sanchez or like a Kelleher or Leno might not be too bad. Oh, under 5 million. Oh god, I don't know who's under 5 million. Goalkeeper questions suck because whoever thinks about goalkeepers, I never ever think about them. How much is? Oh yeah, Sanchez 4.9. Yeah, I thought he was over 5. Have you considered Havertz as a differential? Not really. I just wouldn't trust the minutes enough. I do think he probably starts this week. Lewis Holden and Jai to Timber / Saliba and Dewsbury Hall for a -4 next week. I mean, sure, if that's your only way to get another Arsenal, but it's not. It's okay, I guess. Start one of Rodgers, Calvert-Lewin, or Senesi. Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, easy, I think. Gordon to Sarr or Rodgers. I think Sarr is better up until the blank. Play Donnarumma or Dubravka. Chalobah to Timber, Guy to Pedro, -4. I wouldn't take a -4, I don't think. Bench boost with Dubravka, Chow, Goodmanson, Dewsbury. That is definitely bench boostable. Play 2, Mukiele, Kanate, Van der Ven, O'Reilly. Oof. Kanate and O'Reilly, probably. Hope for a 0-0. Bench Haaland for Kroopy. Probably not. Start Collins or Ballard. Collins. Bench 1. Yeah, probably Collins. Bench 1. Rodgers in Burma, Enzo, Thiago, Calvert-Lewin, Haaland. Rodgers. Start Gay or Mukiele. Gay. Semenyo. Oh my god, where am I? I'm never going to keep up with all these for the last 20 minutes, I don't think. Semenyo, Nunez or Van Dijk, Szoboszlai or different combo. One defender starts. Yeah, Szoboszlai and Van Dijk. Oh, yeah, Szoboszlai and Van Dijk. I think you can make an argument for Van Dijk and Semenyo, though, to be honest. That's probably where I would go. Watkins, Rodgers, Semenyo, Thiago, one bench. Also, by the way, on Szoboszlai, Gomez should be back soon, so he might not even play right back all the time. Watkins, Rodgers, Semenyo, Thiago, one bench. Rodgers. Got Wilson and Giants and got Saka to deal with. Thinking bench Saka and deal with him next week or get Rice this week. Yeah, I would just get Rice. Kroopy or Thiago. Is it really bad only having 2 Arsenal defenders? It's fine. That's what most people are going to have. Raya, Timber, Rice. Nice. Timber to Gabriel. Oh. Raya to who? And Rodon to Gabriel. Do nothing. Oh, God. It's horrible not having Gabriel. I would roll and decide next week. I'd be tempted not to buy Gabriel, but that does feel horrible, I'll be honest. So maybe use 2 transfers next week and shift Raya on. Don't do it this week, in my opinion. Would you rather cover a -12? Would you rather cover -12 with bench boost and I don't think you can bench boost to cover a -12. It's not really how it works. I think if you're going to -12, you should probably wildcard. Senesi, Goodmanson, and one of Wilson, Thiago. Like the bench boost doesn't matter, right? It's either the -12 is worth it or it's not, and it's probably not worth it. Senesi / Goodmanson and one of Goodmanson and one of Wilson, Thiago, Semenyo. Thiago. Bench 2, Senesi, Cash, Chalobah, and bench 2, Senesi, Cash, Chalobah. I'd play Chalobah and Kelleher or Sanchez. I'd play Sanchez. Szoboszlai and Thiago to Zubimendi and João Pedro -4. No, I don't think so. Bench boost with Dubravka, Rodon, Chalobah, Dewsbury Hall. That is definitely bench boostable. Help start 1, Van Dijk or Gay. Van Dijk. Start Verbruggen or Dubravka. Verbruggen, Palmer captain. If you don't have Bruno, sure. I think Timber will be benched in one of those double game weeks. I don't think he will. I think he either gets benched this week or he doesn't get benched. Because between the 2 double game week games, there's a FA Cup game. Is a punt on Salah from 26 viable? Yes. Play 2, Rodon, O'Reilly, Garner, Wilson, Goodmanson. Wilson and Goodmanson. Would you do in Capier, Calvert-Lewin, Semenyo, and Wilson to Timber and Burma, Dewsbury Hall, and Kroopy -4? Gut feeling is no, probably not. I would probably just do Semenyo to someone cheaper and Capier to Timber and save a transfer. I think Gabriel is the best captain this week, but my focus is to win the mini league and probably everyone going to captain Bruno. Should I safe it? I mean, if you're ahead, sure. If you're behind, maybe not. I mean, ultimately, you should probably just captain who you think's the best. But yeah, if you're leading, probably go Bruno. Keane to Munoz for double, Crystal Palace for 3 weeks for a punt. Yeah, I think selling Keane's fine. Which three should I play? Chalobah, Timber, Gay, Mukiele. I would bench Mukiele. I've been watching you for years. I hope you win it. I'd imagine the scenes. I'm honestly not going to win it. I'm probably over 100 points behind. I thank you, but it's just not going to happen. I hope it does, but I really am not holding out any hopes. Double Lee's defense of Rodon and Stroud, or should I bench one of Njai or Dewsbury Hall? I would play Njai, Rodon, Stroud, Dewsbury Hall in that order, I think. Start Pickford or Dubravka? Pickford. Pickford for me. But I still don't know what I'm doing. If I get Timber and he's benched, like that is going to be a killer. I think he starts. I really do. But the fact I've got to think about it, Timber is definitely due some attacking returns. Raptors bench boosting, nice. I think bench boost is quite good for a lot of people over the coming weeks. So if it works, it works. Start Keane or Senesi. Senesi, I think. Arteta did say that Timber's fine, but it doesn't mean he's definitely going to start, of course. But I mean, he is clearly first choice. I don't know what to do. I'm sick of this already. I do not know what to do. Why can't Arteta just message me and say, just go for Rice because I'm going to bench Timber? That would be the... Yeah, that would be the... Sorry, that's not a message from... Someone sent me something on Instagram. Nothing to do with team news. 4. Oh, what's 4? Someone's put a super chat in with 4. I'm not sure. Don't know what the 4 is referring to. Sorry. What if Szoboszlai is just the best midfielder in the game and I get rid of him? Could that happen? Could he be the best midfielder in the game? Like Chalobah or Senesi? Chalobah. Palmer. People are right. I really am anti-Senesi this week. Palmer and Guy to Enzo and João Pedro for free. Would then bench... No, I wouldn't use 2 transfers to bench one of those players. Or Van Dijk to Munoz and roll. Or roll both. I think I would just roll, honestly. Yeah. Timber for the long term. But what's wrong with Rice for the long term? Like, Rice is also just a pretty good pick, right? I don't really... I wouldn't say I'm fearing selling Szoboszlai, to be honest. It's more that I just quite like Timber. Timber... Are minutes at all a consideration in your Rice/Timber decision? I think Timber is more likely to get an early sub. The thing is, that's not necessarily a bad thing for a defender, right? Like, if you said to me now, Timber's going to play 70 minutes, then I quite like that, you know? Much higher chance of a clean sheet. Can still do some damage attacking-wise. For someone like Rice, obviously you want him to play the full game because of the defensive contributions. For Timber, it's less of a thing. Obviously, if Timber's off the pitch, you can't get attacking returns. But because he's not a DEFCON defender, it's not so bad if he gets subbed early. I mean, for a defender, you don't ever mind if they get subbed off after 60, right? If they've got the clean sheet intact. Timber is due attacking returns. He's on 5 point... To be fair, right? He's on... Oh, hang on. I'm looking at it wrong. He's on 5.4 XGI and he's got 6 attacking returns. So he's actually overperformed on assists but underperformed on goals. So he's not... In terms of attacking returns overall, he's not necessarily behind, but he is behind on goals, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. Triple defense, man. I did triple defense once. It went so well. I'm not sure I can repeat it. Triple defense was so good last time I did it. It was so lucky as well, but it was so good. Don't know if any. It was when everyone went. I've told this story before, but like this year, I've kept Saka and everyone hates him. Last time I went triple defense when everybody was on Saka. So getting Timber saves you a transfer in the long run, since you definitely won't get another defender. I don't think it saves the transfer because either Timber or Rice gets sold later on. How does triple defense look after 26? I mean, it's fine, right? Because it's Arsenal. Like, the thing is, I think there's always a perception thing, right? It's just like, oh, triple defense, if they got a bad fixture, it doesn't look good. But I'm never going to bench Ray, and I'm never going to bench Gabriel anyway, so it's only one extra defender, you know? It's always just it's like a perception thing, I think, with triple defense. People just lose their mind compared to, like, a double up. Doubles lead defense of Rodon and Strauch. Oh, I did that one. Did that one. Oh, geez, I've done loads of these questions. Bench Ekatike or play either Anderson. No Chelsea. No, you've got to play Ekatike, I think. Start 2, Senesi, Harry Wilson, Garner, Haaland. Haaland, Harry Wilson. Game week 26 problem. Would you triple captain Gabriel or bench boost with Dubravka, Tarkovsky, Chow, Mane? Chow's not great next week, right? Tarkovsky's okay, though. What's Dubravka got in 26? Crystal Palace away. Probably triple captain. What do you think of Raya, Gabriel, Saliba? No funds for Timber. Good. Bruno G for Rice, Enzo, or should I roll? I would get Rice, I think. Especially if you're just going to do that next week. I think you're stressing. Yes, I am stressing a little bit. You're right. I mean, after 26, they've got Spurs away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Everton at home. So it's not amazing, but then it's also not amazing for Rice either, you know? It's probably better for Rice, I guess. But is it better than for Rice by a mile? I don't know about that. And here's the thing about having triple defense, right? People are triple captaining Gabriel. Now, obviously, he can score and get defcons, but part of the reason it's triple captain is because you think he can get clean sheets. And so can the other two defenders. Yeah, I didn't miss that super chat. I said I'd probably just roll. No, I don't buy this risk chat. The risk chat's rubbish. Like, why is having 2 defenders from the best defense in the league not a risk, but having 3 is a massive risk? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why is having? Yeah, I just don't agree. I had this exact same conversation all of last season. Not all of last season, but at the time when I was going for triple defense. It's like, it's such a risk. It's such a risk. But everyone's got like double, and that's fine. Play Foden or Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin. No, I wouldn't sell him, I don't think. Just play Calvert-Lewin. I would not waste a midfield space for Rice. So many good options. There is, but yeah, there kind of is, I suppose. Should I do Donnarumma to Raya or Van Dijk to Timber or neither? Probably Donnarumma to Raya is the better of the two, I would say. Long term, I'd rather have Raya and Van Dijk than Timber and Donnarumma. Rodgers to Rice this week or next? Has to be Rodgers sold this week. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's why. Why, though? Why not? So 2 is okay, but 3 is bad. Why? If Arsenal were the best defence in the league, and they got, why is having 3 of the players from the best defence in the league bad? Would you start Keane or Chow this week? Chow. The repeat of the triple defense risk conversation. Step up the mathematicians. Exactly. Come on, mathematicians, help me out. Tell everyone in the chat why it's not as big a risk as they say. Have no bench cover. Worried about Timber starting. Would you take a hit? No. Just leave it and hope for the best. I don't think I'm going to get Munoz even if I go Rice, to be honest. Flying to who? Gabriel. If you haven't got Gabriel, just buy him. Start Calvert-Lewin or Semenyo. Calvert-Lewin. I think Timber is the way to go. It might be. It's either Timber or Rice, that's for sure. Start Goodmanson, Van Dijk, Tarkovsky, sell, ask for Rice. I don't know who ask is, but getting Rice is probably good for you. Yeah, Goodmanson I would start. I've done that one. Would you start Keane or Chow? Did that. Done them all. Start Mukiele or Keane. Keane, I guess. Captain Palmer or Haaland. Palmer. Start Kroupy or Estev. Kroupy. 13 minutes to decide. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Why is it always eggs? What's wrong with eggs? Uh, it's a bit annoying that I didn't move early because I can't do Enzo to Verts now in game week 28 if I go for Timber. Do I think Semenya will start? Yeah. Keep Watkins until he's rotated or get João Pedro. I would just keep Watkins. I wouldn't sell to João Pedro, I don't think. 2 to 3 Arsenal defence is only 33% different. Not having the third player is a 100% loss when the clean sheet rolls in. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure you're right. I don't know what it means, so I'm an idiot. Do I risk Keane with Van Dijk first sub or take a hit? Just risk it. 1 free transfer. Hall, O'Reilly to Timber this week. Yes. In Burma and Cash or Timber and Rogers? The one with the Arsenal player. Price changes means Enzo to Verts in 28 was probably off regardless. Well, no, because I've got exact money. If I'd moved early, I would have saved about 0.3 million, I think, because Saka's dropped and Burma's gone up and so has Timber. So I doubt Verts would have gone up 0.3 million by 28. Maybe. He would have had to have gone up 0.4, so probably not. Klein goes, who are the players that remain? Sorry, did I read it wrong? Klein to... Oh, sorry. Timber? Timber or Munoz, probably? Sorry, I read it wrong. I thought the players in brackets were who you were thinking about buying. That's just me being stupid. There is only 11 minutes to go. Start Kroopy or Bruno G. I'm going to say Kroopy. So basically now, if I go the Timber route for Enzo in game week 28, I'd have to buy like Sharda or Wilson or Cunha, but I probably wouldn't do that. Bench, he's still playing Harden even though Pep said he might not start against Liverpool. I'll be shocked if he doesn't start against Liverpool. Bench one of Enzo, Calvert-Lewin or Rogers. Rogers. I could make a double move in 28 to do Enzo to Verts, but then it's probably selling Timber. I think I might go Rice now. I think I might go Rice. Hang on, I need to have a quick look at this. I would say don't put Calvert-Lewin to João Pedro -4. No. Rogers or Calvert-Lewin, I'd play Calvert-Lewin. Don't put any more super chats in for a second because I'm not. There's 10 minutes left and I'm not sure what I want to do for my team. Yeah, I do like being able to get Verts. Most people have at least 2, so it's 1 against other players. Yeah, I mean Timber's great, right? Timber's just pretty good. Well, 10 minutes ago, and I don't know what moves I do. I mean, I do. I'm buying in Burma, and then I'm buying one of Rice or Timber. So I've at least locked it down to 2 players. I think I'm going to go Rice. I'm just not 100% on it. I don't think. Oh, Szoboszlai. Oh yeah, so I'd have to go for someone else. The FPL site's going to bug out. I might just do... I think I'm getting in Burma either way for Saka. So let me just do that move. Let me just put in Burma. I could just do Saka to Rice and roll. Got a headache. I don't like going down to 1 transfer. It kind of sucks. Okay, Saka out in Burma in. Right, we've done that now. I'm committed. I've got to get the second Arsenal player now. I mean, I don't. I could just roll this. But that was a bit stupid. I should have gone Rice if I was going to roll. Rice does have to go for 31, but so does... Yeah, that's a good point. I could do Timber to someone like Hill. Or Timber... Or... Timber to a... Timber to a second... I actually think a second Fulham defender might be better than a second Bournemouth defender. I did look at that earlier. Timber to... I don't even know who's playing for Fulham at the moment apart from Anderson. I'd have to check, but... Maybe I should have just rolled completely. Is Mason Mount playing? I doubt it somehow. I do prefer my like game week 28 team if I go for Verts, but only if Lewis Hall stays fit. Only if Lewis Hall stays fit. Oh, but I would. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going Rice. I think I'm going Rice. You do Hall to Hill and then Rice to Verts. Yeah, maybe, but I've got. I think I want to sell Enzo before I sell Rice. You know. I mean, does Verts really matter? Does Verts really matter that much anyway? I think I've got to go. I think I've got to go Rice because I'm more sure about the team later on. I think. I already want to swear now. Yeah, I think I'm going Rice. I think I'm going Rice, but I'm not happy about it at all. Going the triple defense is just quite nice. That's inflexible if you get an injury. What's inflexible? So Bosley is better than Hall. Timber is better than Rice. Yeah, but Lewis Hall doesn't get played every week, you know? Yeah, it's not. I know what you mean. Is Timber better than Rice? Probably is, isn't he? Oh, I kind of want to. Oh, yeah, I don't know. By the way, if I do, don't put any more super chats in and stuff. Honestly, I won't get to them now. If I do the Timber move, oh no, because I've got Enzo to deal with as well later. If I'd moved early, I think I'd already have Timber in place, I guess. If I'd moved early. Raya is your problem. Raya is not a problem, honestly. I really don't think he's that much of a problem. I will say, like, the team looks freaking good. If I get, like, I could have Saboslai and Burma and Fernandez just be all in on those teams. Rice will be handy for the double game. Yeah, but so will Timber. So will Timber. Who's playing for freaking? Is Castagna playing at the moment? Hang on. Palmer hat. Just don't start talking about Palmer hat tricks. Palmer doesn't matter. I'm not. I can't go Palmer. I can't afford him now. Okay, Castagna's playing at the moment. Okay, and Robinson. So let's say I go for Castagna. And I can play Anderson. Thing is, do I really want to go Timber just to sell him again in 28? That feels a bit rubbish as well, you know? Just to... Oh, I don't know. Just to keep Saboslai. I really don't know. Rare could be so many other key. Honestly, I'm not getting into a rare conversation. Why would you sell Timber? No, later on, I mean. Well, I mean, Timber and Rice have both got to be sold. Whoever you buy has got to be sold by 31, right? Doo-doo. Don't overthink, just get Timber. Why is Timber the least overthinking question? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I have been saying Timber all week, I know. But then he got freaking missed training, didn't he? I'm not happy about that. Okay, how long we got? 3.5 minutes. Rice is nice. Rice is kind of okay, I would say. Save a few. I don't get how Rice saves a future transfer rather than Timber. They both need to be sold in 31. You've been telling everyone else to roll and do it next week. Well, not for everyone. So that's not true. I've been telling people who have to take -4s. Oh, it is nice just having Timber and Gabriel, I think. I'm probably going to get Rice. I'm probably going to get Rice. If I had like 0.3 more, I think I would just get Timber because I know I could do Enzo to Verts later on. I just don't want to sell it. Like, maybe I just get over not being able to get Verts. Maybe that's just the play. Like, who cares? I'm just gonna get Rice, I think. That's so boring, though. Honestly, that is I'm bored of it already. I'm so bored of getting Rice. Yeah, should I bench Haaland for Calvert-Lewin? No. Get Rice instead of Anderson if you can. Oh, let's not worry about Anderson right now. Semenyo to Mbermo, no for -4. Calafiori worth a punt, probably not. Start Dewsbury Hall, Raul Jimenez. Start Hill or Keane, Hill. Start Thiago or Wilson, Thiago. Sell Semenyo or Enzo for Rice, Semenyo. Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, Collins and Roden. Is it a good bench boost? It's not a bad bench boost. I probably wouldn't do it now. Buy Wilson now and Rice in 26 or Rice now. Rice now. I've got João Pedro. Do I captain him or Bruno? Bruno. Right, I've got no more super chats now. So Bosley's like so. Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna get Rice, but I'm really not sure about it, to be honest. If Timber scores, that's gonna be horrible. I'm not sure that's the right call. I'm not sure that's the right call. Yeah, I really don't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to get to game week 28 and not even want to buy Verts or something like that. I can see. Who's my vice captain, by the way? Gabriel. I'm just going to stick to that now. I'm not messing around with it. What if Rice scores? Well, if Rice outscores Timber, I'll be pretty happy, you know? Yeah, I don't. Not sure about that. We'll see. We'll see. Are you jealous of me rolling and having 3 free transfers next week? I don't know. What's your rank? I bought Sarr over Enzo. What could go wrong? Ooh, nice. Good luck. Went triple defense. Hate myself. I honestly. I wonder if I should have just gone triple defense. The thing is, I don't know if Rice is even the safe play, honestly. That's the thing. I don't think... I guess it's a bit safer. Like, you're more sure Rice is going to start than Timber. I'm pretty sure Timber's going to start. I don't really have too many concerns about that. I don't think. Why is it safe? I don't think it is safer. I don't... I think I should have gone triple defense, honestly. I think I was just so worried about not being able to do Enzo to Verts in 28. I mean, if Rice scores, I'll obviously be happy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You captain Harry Maguire. Did you really do that? Start Wilson or Saboslo? Probably Wilson. Are we talking this week or next week? You benched O'Reilly to play Goodmanson. I would have done that as well. Well, no, I think the what's your rank question was valid because if that person was like 3k but with 3 free transfers, I'd probably rather be in their position. But if they're like 300k with 3 free transfers, I'd probably rather be in my position. I think it was a fair question, you know? I mean, I'm jealous of anyone that's got 3 transfers, but if we have to swap positions and teams, then that's going to depend on your rank, right? Rice is very reliable. Yeah, but Timber's also really good, by the way. I think Rice is blank for like 4 game weeks in a row. It could be 5 after this week. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure Timber will start. I don't really have too many concerns about that, which is why I'm now having a bit of regret. But I think I would have had a bit of regret either way, maybe. Unless for entertainment, why leave the decision to the last 6 seconds? Because I'm doing a deadline stream anyway, so I don't like. What if a news comes in or something that someone's injured last minute, like Rice is injured or something? Then I wish I waited. You know. Should have gone Timber. I think I should have gone Timber. Bet you never saw a midfield of Enzo, Rice, and Anderson come. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a weird one. If Timber's bench, obviously I'll be pretty happy that Rice is that I went Rice, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't always. I think that's incorrect. That I always hate my moves, to be honest. Most of the predictors have gone for Timber as well. You were gutted at deadline with Tav, was I? Kralin has gone triple Arsenal defense. Yeah, probably was the way to go. Probably was the way to go. For what it's worth, I think both ways are good. Like, it's not. I haven't got Declan Rice, and I think he's a really bad pick. Like, far from it. I just think Szoboszlai might be okay. Like, Liverpool fixtures are pretty good. Maybe I should. Maybe I should have just done Saka to Rice, but then I quite like Timber. Why would making my transfer with 5 minutes to spare be less disingenuous than doing it with 60 seconds? I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. I'll say this, having looked through the next few weeks for transfers, if Lewis Hall stays fit the whole way to 31, I do think getting Rice is ever so slightly better for my team. Like, ever so slightly, minimal, like almost to the point it's not even worth talking about. Because Lewis Hall is quite useful, especially when he plays Sunderland at home in 31. But for him to be fit all the way, like when he's getting week 31, it's ages away, right? Yeah, I need Lewis Hall to still be fit on the 22nd of March. Rice's data is very good. His data is okay. I can tell you right now, I'm looking at it here, 0.14. So Declan Rice is 0.37 XGI. Timber 0.24, but Timber's a defender. Am I going to the Galway? Do you know what? I actually drove past Eamon DC Park earlier. Is it Eamon DC Park? I always worry about saying stuff like, because you just look like an idiot if you got it wrong. But it is Eamon DC, right? Yeah, Park. I knew it was Eamon DC, it's whether it's Park. And I saw the cones out. I thought, is there a game? So have they started back up? Oh, yeah. Is this the first game of the season? I think it is, right? Drogheda. I'm not going. I could go, I suppose. It must be so much busier now there since they got promoted, right? Oh my God. I love that people think I do these things. You had to close the door. Yeah, because I had my door open when I was streaming, then people came home. Like right now, my door's closed because there's people in. But if people aren't in, I have the door open. I love that. People think people think I pretend to close a door to make it more suspenseful. Wow, okay. What's disingenuous? Okay, here we go. God, people are so miserable. What's disingenuous is you wrongly assuming that people who say don't leave it to the last minute mean to do it hours or days before. They obviously mean to do it 5-10 minutes before. Okay, but again, what difference does it make? I'm sat here anyway, you know? You should take up surfing. I don't think I'm going to be surfing anytime soon. I thought about doing Watkins to João Pedro or Bowen this week, but just rolled. I would have rolled, yeah. I didn't drive past Galway. I drove through Galway and past Amondisi. Have you been to Sean's Bar in Athlone? Yes, I've actually been there twice. I actually went there not that long ago, in January sometime. What if your Wi-Fi cuts out? Well, I mean, that would be pretty annoying, wouldn't it? You kept saying in 31 you need to get rid of Arsenal players. Is free hit not a good option? Not really. I mean, it depends on your team setup probably, but not for me. I've got 1 City, no Palace, and 3 Arsenal. So I'll just sell. I'll just bench Raya, bench Gabriel, and then sell. I was about to say sell Timber, then I realised I went for Rice instead. Let's see. It'll be really annoying, by the way, if Rice gets injured because, like I said earlier, that's a double move back to Timber, and I've only got 1 transfer. Yeah, if the FPL site crashes, that would be annoying, but the FPL site doesn't ever really crash these days, unless Haaland gets benched and we find out. I'm pretty sure if I wasn't streaming, I'll be exactly the same right up until the deadline, just without having to answer so many questions. Right, I'm off. Enjoy your weekend. I will. There won't be a knee-jerk stream this week because we've got a quick turnaround to game week 26. So there will be a video out on Sunday evening, but there won't be a stream. Tuesday deadline, so don't forget that. I have to decide whether to lock in the triple captain. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you for a video on Sunday. See you then.